I want to show you guys how we can develop the best way to identify a trending market, okay? And also how we can create a directional bias. So starting things off here, what I want you guys to do is head over to indicators and apply the 4 EMAs, okay? So you want to apply this indicator to your chart, and then you want to double click it and input 50, 100 and 200 into here, and you don't really need the 400, and just activate the first three for your EMAs, okay? Click OK, and then your indicator will be applied to your chart, okay? So starting things off here, what this indicator allows us to do is to identify a directional bias for any given market, okay? And how we do this is we have the 200. So when the 200 EMA is on top, that's the red one, the 100 EMA is in the middle, and the 50 EMA is on the bottom. This is an indication that this is a seller's market, okay? So we are sell bias on this pair, and so our directional bias is to sell this market if the opportunity does present itself, okay? And so you can see here, you can see this is an impulsive move to the downside. Then you can see we have a correction into our sell zone. And what I mean by sell zone, it's just the area in between the 50, the 100 and the 200. This is the area of value to where we can look to short this market, okay? Then you can see here we have another impulsive move to the downside, and then we start to correct back up into our area of value where we can look to then take another short trade, okay? And what these EMAs essentially do is prevent us from constantly changing our bias and ensuring that we are sticking with the higher time frame trends, okay? Because that's where most of the money is made. It's in following these higher time frame trends and ensuring that we can capture a large proportion of that trending move, okay? Another thing to note here is we can identify the strength of the trend by the distance between the exponential moving averages. And what I mean by that is if we look at the distance here between them, you can see we have a nice healthy distance between the exponential moving averages, and that is an indication of a strong and healthy trend, okay? So that's for a short trade. We want the EMAs all to be in order. So we have the red on top, the blue in the middle, which is the 100, and the 50 on the bottom, the green EMA. And so now let's just flip to the long bias here. And so vice versa here, if we have the 200 exponential on bottom, the 100 in the middle, and the 50 on top, this is an indication of a long only market. So I'll only be looking for long trades on this market, and we are essentially, the directional bias is long only, okay? And therefore, when we look at the distance between the EMAs, so for example here, you can see there's a nice big and healthy distance between them. This indicates a very strong trend. Essentially, the larger the distance between the EMAs, the stronger the trend, okay? So you can expect bigger impulsive moves to the upside. And therefore, so once we see an impulsive move, any correction into our area of value, we can look to take a long trade. We have an impulse, we have a correction into our area of value. So in and around here, we can look to take a long trade. So we see another impulse here, and then we see another correction into our area of value, and then we can look for a long trade, okay? So I'm not going to talk too much about actually executing trades. The main sort of driver of this video is to give you guys a framework of how you can establish a directional bias just by simply using 3 exponential moving averages. Okay, so you can see throughout this whole period here, we only would have been long bias on AUD USD, and therefore we would have looked to capitalize on all of these dip buying opportunities and ride this trend. Okay, so it's very important that the EMAs are in order, and also there's a healthy distance between them to indicate a strong trend, because essentially that's what we are going to look to capitalize on. Okay, because we can get a fairly tight stop and the risk to rewards are very, very good. Okay, so that's it for this video, guys. Please, if you did learn something new here, please like, comment and subscribe. And ultimately the reason for this video is to give you guys a framework within your trend following system. Okay, so that's it for this one. Please, if you have any comments, let me know below and I'll get back to you guys. I'll see you in the next one.